All right, good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to class today. We are going to be focusing on a new artist today. As you know, we've been working on a lot of different artists from the past, and today's artist is going to be an interesting one. This first painting or piece of artwork that you guys see here is called Les Lagunes, which means the lagoon, and this is done by an artist named Henri Matisse. This was done in about 1947, and he was a visual artist that worked in painting and paper cuts and sculpture. And so we're going to focus a little bit on what he liked doing. He was kind of known as the funny artist, or he liked to do funny art. And he created paper cutouts and used crazy colors and all sorts of interesting colors. But he also was known for doing three types of art movements, and those three types of art movements are part of what made him famous, and because he was kind of known as one of the creators of these movements. Now, the first one that he was known for is called Fauvism, and the reason that this is called Fauvism, it actually came from a French word called Les Fauves, which means the wild beast, and he was part of a group from the 20th century, modern artists whose work emphasized painterly qualities and strong colors, and he did representational type of art, realistic values retained by Impressionism. So he tried to have these realistic values that kind of looked like what you might see, but he used a lot of color in it. And so when he did that, a lot of people thought he was kind of being wild and kind of crazy. He also was known as one of the artists who was part of the modernism movement, which was more of a philosophy or basically kind of a way of thinking. And this came along during, a changing of, wild scale of all sorts of type of art, and it was a transformation in the Western society during the 19th and 20th century. So it was kind of more about the way you thought about art and how it looked compared to what was done in the past. More of, like in the Renaissance period where art looked more exactly like what you would see. Modernism was more of just kind of a feeling that was involved in the type of art they were doing. And then his final style of art that he did was known as Impressionism. Now, we've talked about this a little bit with one of our past artists, but Impressionism, this was something that happened around the 19th century, and it was an art movement that originated with a group of artists from Paris, and they were focused on, you know, designing paintings and that focused on the small, thin lines and visible brushstrokes, and they used open compositions or open landscapes they like to look at, and their emphasis was on the accurate depiction of light and the changing qualities. So they really looked at how light impacted the environment around them and what it did to the color, and how that was so important in the elements of what they were painting or drawing or designing. So today, one of the other things we're going to get to the chance to look at and focus on is creating our own paper cut. And it's going to be our own paper cutout like we saw in that first picture. And then we're also going to have our daily exit ticket that we will do at the end of class. And I'll have some questions for you guys that kind of will help remind you what you learned today. So part of our English language development that we'll focus on as well today will be we're going to think about some of our ways to have a creative outlet with the focus on what you guys already know, what we've kind of learned about art going forward. And then we will also talk a little bit more about some of the art words we learned about last time when we talked about Picasso and what his impact was to the art world. So down below we have three artists here, and in the middle is Henri Matisse, and to the first picture is his good friend Marcel Duchamp, And then the picture to the other side of him is Pablo Picasso. And these three men are listed here because they all were great friends who worked together on different styles of art that became very important in the future. And all three of these artists helped to define the revolutionary developments in an art form called plastic arts, where they use materials like wood and clay and other types of materials like that to actually design what they wanted to show people through their art. And they also were very significant developers of how painting and sculpture was done. So these guys had a big impact on how we do art today and some of the important elements behind that. And so what we learned last time when we talked about Picasso is we talked a lot about him being one of the fathers of Cubism and how he also was one of the creators of constructive sculpture, and he also was one of the fathers of collages, which is very similar to this picture you see here, which is called Composition Black and Red. It was done in 1947 by Henri Matisse, and this was one of his early cutouts that he did. And this is something that we will get a chance to start trying to do today. But first, I want you guys to watch a video that talks a little bit more about Henri Matisse and his style of work.
Henri Matisse. This sure brightens up this gray, rainy day.
Yeah. Lots and lots of colors. And look.
I love it. A cool design with just colors.
Oops.
That was funny. You look like a wild animal.
And Dada, wow! You
Huh?
make a cool painting.
Well, it was cool. This is not a gray day at all.
Whoa, that is cool, Maddie.
Well, it's not exactly what I was going for, but it kind of looks like something I saw in one of my books.
I'll get you a cloth to wipe your face. Here you go, Maddie.
Hey, this is who I was looking for on my bookshelf. Henri Matisse, the master of color. Thanks, Dada.
And who have we here?
Monsieur Matisse, what a surprise.
Maddie,
Huh?
you still have paint on your face?
I forgot. I was so excited.
C'est très bon. Being excited and forgetting what others think is the only way to create art.
Dada, crazy! Hey, Maddie, look at this!
A lot of people laughed at my painting, Woman with a Hat, at its first public showing. They didn't like it at all. They called me Fauve, which is French for wild beast.
Oh, that was like me. I turned Maddie and her painting into wild colors.
I love her hat. It's just a bunch of colors that go up, up, and up.
Well, gigantic, outrageous hats were all the fashion back then. And so, that's what I painted. A gigantic, outrageous hat.
And look, Maddie, her face is pink and green, and she has a yellow dab on the tip of her nose, just like you did.
Yeah, it matches the big purple dot under her chin and the green beside her face.
Dada, yeah. With all those colors around her, it makes her colorful face look normal.
Yeah, this whole painting is so colorful. It's energetic and...
It's impulsive, oui. Colors are what matter to me. How they generate feelings and moods. How they interact with one another.
Yes!
Dada, yeah.
And different combinations of colors and patterns and shapes can generate very different feelings.
Ooh, this rug has a calming feeling.
This painting kind of makes me feel relaxed. It makes my eyes glide all around it, like Dada on that rug.
Yeah.
I saw this room as one big decorative pattern.
Huh? Hey, Maddie, The painting got unflat.
I can see it's a room, but it's flat. Monsieur Matisse, how did you make that room look like a flat, smooth surface?
I painted everything with equal balance. One thing doesn't stand out more than another. I gave each thing its own space and shape on the paper. The tablecloth had that shape, with the pears and the eggplants, vase and statue on top of it. I saw the screen, mirror, window and door as simple rectangle shapes, and the view through the window and mirror are just shapes of color I saw. And of course, the walls and floor look like the same thing, just a big flat pattern surface.
A pattern of a room.
Well, I actually called it Still Life with Eggplants.
Huh? It's not very still because the eggplants look like they're sliding off the table.
Yeah, and in the mirror, they're back on the table, but in a different place.
It's fun to play around with the space, colors and shapes of things.
Yeah, and make a whole new picture with them.
Like that one. Ta-da! Whoa! This one is made only with colors, cut out into shapes.
Monsieur Matisse, you've covered your walls with colorful shapes.
Yes, my excitement carries me away. I forget about everything else.
You were carried away, all right.
Oui, indeed. Well, I cannot do everything I love as easily as I used to. And so, I've created a garden here in my studio where I can walk.
You've made a color garden from cutout shapes.
Yes. I call my new style of art paper cutouts. I draw with scissors and play with colors. I can make them big or very small, and then arrange and rearrange them until it pleases me. Yes, perfect. There.
Cool. Cutting into color.
Fun. This one looks like a party.
Yes, I call it Sorrows of the King.
Huh? Sorrows of the King? But that sounds sad.
Yeah, but it doesn't look sad. I see music and laughing and dancing. Yeah, I'm confused.
Well, the king is very old, but he plays music and he surrounds himself with the memories of laughter and dance, and they soothe all his ills.
Yeah, how can the old king be sad with all those colors around him?
I want to do paper cutouts too. Thank you so much, Monsieur Matisse. I'm all excited.
That's good. And remember to forget everything else.
Look, Dada, I've got the perfect shape to add.
Where do you want it, Maddie? Here? Or over here?
I feel it would be nice up in that corner.
Like this?
Maybe down a bit. And move that triangle just above it. Yeah.
Terrific! I like that!
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That is a really nice focus on what Henri Matisse's work is like and what he liked to do. So now, moving forward, our project that we're going to work on, here's an example of Henri Matisse working on one of his paper cutouts. So what we are going to do as a class today is you're all going to get a piece of black paper as your background paper, and then you're going to get to choose 5 pieces of paper, different colors, to do cutouts with. And you can do all sorts of different shapes and sizes and looks to the paper that you cut out. And you're going to take your glue and you're going to glue this onto your black paper. Lay it out. First you want to lay it out in the way you want it to look. So try all sorts of different looks and lay different pieces of paper on there, just kind of like he's doing right now with his piece of work. And then at the end you will have your own paper cutout, and here's some examples of what you might be able to do. These are some other students that have done this, and as you can see, they use triangles and swirly cutouts and all sorts of different shapes that even look like ice cream cones, and they did pictures little pieces for making people, and all sorts of pieces of paper were used to create their piece of artwork. So you will get a chance to create your own piece of artwork like this. And I want everyone to make sure that they try to use all sorts of different colors and shapes, and be very creative. Just be very open about trying all sorts of different things. And remember my rule in class: all artists work in quiet. So you're going to work like you're in a studio by yourself and stay focused on your artwork and try to do the best you can to get something that you enjoy. So our last thing in our lesson today, in our class today, is going to be our exit ticket. As we do this every day, I want you guys to answer 3 questions based on the artwork that I showed you and the vocabulary I taught you about. I want you to answer the 3 following questions. The first question is, name one of the 3 types of art forms that Henri Matisse was known for. And the second question I want you to answer is, name one of his friends, and out of those friends, which one did we most recently talk about and what he was known for. And then your final question of the day is, I want you to name what was the word used to describe Henri Matisse and his style of painting. What was he known as? What was that word that the French folks called him, and what did it mean? So think about those things. They were talked about even in the little video, and we will do our little exit ticket, and you will turn it into the box as you leave class. But for now, I want everyone to grab their black paper and their 5 sheets of different colors of paper and your scissors and your glue, and start working on your own paper cutout.